Yes guys, I've bought a 964 again. Hey guys, Raj Sangha of Cardio Security. Welcome back to the channel. My June purchase. Yes, I've bought another 964 again. I know this video is going out in July, but I promise you this car was purchased in June. We've been so busy, we've not been able to film this car with events and shows and so on. But my June purchase is this lovely Guards Red 964 and the all-important C2, that's Carrera 2 manual. You're probably thinking, why have I bought another 964 when I've got my grey one, the C2 manual, and I've got the 964 turbo? Well, I've always lusted after a fast road 964 C2 manual that I can use on road trips, go to Scotland, go to Wales, go into Europe, and the grey one is too good to do that with. I've spent so much money restoring that it's now become a bit of a trailer queen, and we only pull it out for events and shows, which is a shame. So last year, even in one of my garage tour videos, I actually mentioned that at some point I will get another 964 C2. This particular car I bought from my friend Ian Harris of Harris Classics, and in the UK he is the go-to guy if you want a 964. Now, I didn't want a car that had already been modified or resto modded. I don't need another trailer queen. In fact, I wanted a car which I could put my own stamp on, something that maybe has been used as a track car, or something that been sitting around for a while and needs some TLC. This is that car. When I bought my 964 C2, the grey one, 9 years ago, there were an abundance of 964s for sale. In fact, you could pick any colour. You could have a C2, you could have a C4, you could have a manual, tip, Targa, and you can buy cars all day long for 20, 25 grand. Those days are gone now. A good 964 C4, that's Carrera 4 all-wheel drive manual, they command about 60k now, in fact upwards of 60k. And a C2 manual, doesn't matter what condition, you are not getting one for less than 65, 70k. And in fact, only today I went on PistonHeads and I had a look. The cheapest 964 C2 manual up for sale, be it with a dealer I believe, was £85,000. So I've got a lot of plans for this car. This car is not going to remain stock. So I think the best thing to do is get it over to CAS HQ, get it into the workshop, and we'll go over the car. And we'll go over all the positives, the negatives, and what the plans are for this 964 C2 manual. Right guys, let me tell you a little more about this 964, but before I do that, I'll go into why I've bought another 964. So why another 964? Now, last year in one of my garage tour videos, I mentioned that I'd like to buy another 964, something that I can maybe use for fast road use, for Scotland trips, European blasts and so on. My current 964, the C2, which is on airlift, is more of a show car, and I wanted something which I can use and not worry if it gets dirty, if it gets a few stone chips and so on. So that's the reason why I wanted another 964. This particular car has been sourced from Ian Harris of Harris Classics. I spoke to him about 18 months ago, and gave him a remit. And I said, I don't want a trailer queen. It has to be C2. I don't mind if it's a Tiptronic. I could always convert it. The problem with manual boxes is that they're quite expensive. So ideally a 964 C2 manual, don't care about the color and don't care too much about the condition. Now you guys might think this is an exceptional looking car. It's not. I'm going to walk around and show you the bad points on this car and some of the good points. Let's talk about the positives with this car first. It's got less than 90,000 miles. It's a C2, it's a manual, and it's HPI clear. Now, starting from the front, you've got the RS ducts, which are obviously been added on by the previous owner. I think this car has been painted at some point, but we'll go into the paint shortly. And you've also got the teardrop or cup mirrors, whatever you want to call them. So this car may have come with flag mirrors initially. Cup wheels, and you've got Michelin Sport tires all round, and the tread on these tires is pretty good. The suspension has definitely been upgraded because the car is sitting slightly lower. I have no idea what the suspension is. We'll find that out when we get it onto the ramp. So when the car was painted, some of the rubbers have been replaced, as you can see, because there's no way these rubbers are 30 years old. The handles look fairly new as well. Again, new rubbers here. And then coming on to the rear, we've got Perspex screen. I don't think it's a Porsche original screen because there's no stickers or Porsche markings on there. And you've got a wiper delete on that RS style screen. We've also got new rear lights. Now these cost a fortune. I remember when I bought these for my grey car, I think I paid £500 or £600 just for the central section. And we've got a upgraded exhaust. I have no idea what that exhaust is, but we'll find out when we get it on the ramp. One negative, guys, on the back of this car, it's not an RS. So that RS badge will be removed very soon. Right guys, inside the car, there's a lot going on here. Now, first and foremost, new seats, Recaro pole positions, and these look absolutely mint. Importantly, this is a manual car, and here you have the toggle switch for the rear spoiler. Also, we've got the RS style door cards with the pull latch, Momo Prototipo steering wheel, which I absolutely love. Now, you've also got an RS clutch and flywheel. However, the biting point on this clutch is so high up. I've probably stalled this car 10 times already. Interior wise, everything else here is standard. There is a sunroof, but I don't think the sunroof works. Also a brand new carpet set, which has been fitted by the previous owner. And that does cost a fair few quid. In the back, we don't have the stock seat belts. We've got these harnesses just for the driver. And we've got this strut brace in the back. It's hardly a cage. And to be fair, I don't think it's doing a great job. As I said earlier, we have got a new carpet set, but the back does say Carrera RS. This is not an RS. That RS logo will have to go. Right, that's all the positives covered. Now let's go through the negatives. Rear spoiler doesn't work. In fact, the motor's missing. That's why it doesn't work. Now, if we look in the engine bay, we are missing the airbox and we're missing some of the air intake pipes on the left side. So they will need to be sourced and replaced. Guys, it's not an RS, so that's a negative. I wish it was an RS. Quite a few swirl marks in the paint here. We've got some cracks in the paintwork here. Sunroof doesn't work, so we'll have to investigate why that doesn't work. There's no audio in this car, so obviously at some point I'll have to add a stereo and some speakers. There's no security, so Clifford alarm will have to go in. There's no AC, and if I want to go on European blasts, I will need AC. Rear seat delete, not a negative, probably a positive. Now on the front of the car, I don't know if you guys will see this, but there's a fair amount of paint blistering on the left-hand side of the bonnet. It's obviously reacted where the car wasn't prepared well. And if I look in the front, actually, that's not too bad. There is no negative here. You've even got the spare wheel there. So guys, there you have it. The positives and the negatives with my new June purchase, this 964 C2 manual. Now let's go into the plans with this particular car. Okay, first and foremost, I need to fix this rear spoiler. There's no motor, so we're gonna source a motor. Need to get, obviously, the airbox housing, so at least I can drive the car and not damage the engine. We will get the car on the ramp and get Jay and Palm to have a look around and have a prod and, you know, see what else they find that needs sorting out. Then the car will get booked into Northway Porsche in Reading, who are my go-to guys when it comes to servicing my classics. Service the car, sort out that RS clutch, maybe change the biting point if it can be done, and get a list of to-dos from Northway Porsche, stuff that needs to be done now and stuff that can be done later on down the road. This car doesn't leak oil, so I've had this parked up for a couple of weeks and there's not a drop of oil underneath it. However, 964s, especially the early ones, are notorious for leaking oil. So that's something we will investigate and update you guys. And then drive it. So next few months, I just want to drive it, put some miles on it, enjoy the car, and then we'll talk about some of the changes that I want to do to this 964. Now you're thinking, what changes? Well, it's quite a lot. So let me go into that too. And then over winter, I think I will get it painted and get that engine sorted. So guys, you know, give me some input. What color would you go for? Guards red is a great color, but I'm not necessarily a fan of Guards red. So I'm gonna go bare metal and I'm gonna change this color. At this moment in time, I'm not sure exactly what color I'd go for, but there's a few options. Maybe speed yellow, maybe maritime blue. Suspension, I have no idea what suspension is on here. My go-to suspension is always KW Variant 3. So we'll go with KW Variant 3 suspension. Change the wheels, maybe go with BBSs, or maybe go with ETA Betas or something like that. So guys, you know, give me some input. What color would you go for? Would you keep it Guards red? Or knowing that there is some paintwork issues, would you change the color? And what color would you go with? What wheels would you go with? Now, engine-wise, that engine actually sounds pretty strong. So I don't think it needs to be rebuilt. However, I do want to get a bit more power out of this car. These are good for about 250 brake. I could probably get it to 300 brake by putting in a fast road cam, ECU remap, changing the exhaust. If I want to get to about 320, 330 brake, then I'll have to go probably 3.8. That's a big number. The next episode, we'll get the car on the ramp, get Jay and Palm to prod, then we'll give it to Northway Porsche. Then we'll do some alterations in the car. So guys, you are gonna follow this journey. When I bought my grey 964 9 years ago, that was before we even had Cast TV as a YouTube channel. It would have been great to document that, but this I will document. Every step of this build you guys will see, and you can have some input. You can help me choose the color and so on. Most importantly, this is a great base car to put my own stamp on it. In fact, the condition of this car is far better than my grey 964 when I bought it. And in fact, that grey 964 was marine blue. That had 150,000 miles on it. The engine was smoky. Every panel had rot. There's not that much rot here because it has been painted previously. So guys, yeah, let me know what you think of my June purchase. Drop some comments below. What color should I go for? What wheel should I go for? And let me know what you think I should do and what I shouldn't do. For now, I'm gonna go for a drive. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because there's gonna be a lot more content coming to the channel about my 964 C2. See you soon, guys.